All right, so today we are going to talk about equations. Well, what makes something an equation? Well, you need an equal sign, and then on either side of it, you're going to have equivalent expressions. So I might have 3 plus 4 is equal to 2 plus 5. They're equivalent because 3 plus 4 is 7, and 2 plus 5 is 7. So 7 equals 7 is even an equation. It just doesn't really make sense. What about when I have a variable in my equation? Well, this variable can be, well, it could be anything really, we don't know yet. And this is called an open equation or an open sentence. So an open sentence is an equation that has a variable in it. I'm going to want to know what my choices for x are. What are my options? What could I plug in there for x? That's called the domain. So the domain of x is what I'm allowed to choose from for x. So I might say, well, x belongs to the set of numbers 0, 1, 2, or 3. So that's the domain. That means I can only choose one of those four numbers for the value of x. Now, one of those values might make my statement true, and we're going to look at that in a minute. But if it does, that's called satisfying. Let's see, satisfying the equation. Or we call those numbers roots and solutions. Roots and solutions. These are the numbers from the domain that satisfy the equation. So let's look at our original 3 plus x equals 7 minus x. This is our open sentence. This is our equation. And let's say that x does indeed belong to 0, 1, 2, or 3. If I want to find out which numbers satisfy this equation, that's called solving. So I know a lot of you probably know how to solve this equation right now by doing some reverse ingenuity and figuring it out. But for the time being, what I'm going to want you to do is actually test each number and see if it works by using a chart. So when x is 0, I get 3 plus 0, and does that equal 7 minus 0? Does it? No. What about when x is 1? Does 3 plus 1 equal 7 minus 1? Well, that's 4, and this is 6, so no. How about 2? 3 plus 2, does that equal 7 minus 2? Well, 3 plus 2 is 5, and 7 minus 2 is 5, so yes. And what about 3? 3 plus 3, does that equal 7 minus 3? Does 6 equal 4? No. So in this case, my solution is 2. And I can write it like this. And sometimes I'll have no solution. No value of x that I'm allowed to choose satisfies it. I may have one, or I may have many solutions. Multiple numbers might satisfy that open equation. So now we're going to do a few more problems. So for starters, let's try this one. For x belonging to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's solve for x plus 6 equals 7. Well, let's do 0 plus 6. Does that equal 7? No. How about 1 plus 6? Does that equal 7? Yes. How about 2 plus 6? Does that equal 7? No. And what about 3 plus 6 equals 7? No. 4 plus 6 equals 7? No. 5 plus 6 equals 7? No. And 6 plus 6 equals 7. I know that's not a lot of fun, but for right now, I need you to go ahead and show me those steps. So for this one, the only one that worked was 7, or was 1, sorry, because 1 plus 6 equals 7. So my solution is just 1. Let's look at another problem. I'm going to erase that real quick. Let's do 40 divided by x equals 8. So which number satisfies that? Well, 40 divided by 0, we can't even do that. 40 divided by 1 does not equal 8. 40 divided by 2 does not equal 8. 40 divided by 3 does not equal 8. It's not a pretty number. 40 divided by 5 does equal 8. Yes. And 40 divided by 6 does not equal 8. So here my solution is going to be 5. Let's try another one. Alright, so what if I do m belongs to 0, 1, 2, or 3, and I want to solve for m times, in parentheses, 3 minus m equals 2. So first I'm going to try 0. So 0 times 3 minus 0, does that equal 2? No. What about 1 times 3 minus 1? Does that equal 2? Well, that's 1 times, what's 3 minus 1? 2. And what's 1 times 2? 2. So does 2 equal 2? Yes. So 1 is the solution. Let's keep going. 2 times 3 minus 2, does that equal 2? Well, that's 2 times, and what's 3 minus 2? 1. So I have 2 times 1, and does that equal 2? Well, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 equals 2. So yes, 2 is also a solution. Let's try 3. 3 times 3 minus 3, does that equal 2? Well, that's 3 times 0, and does that equal 3? No. So my solution set is 1 or 2. Okay, so I want you to try this one on your own. X belongs to 3, 6, 9, or 12. And you're going to solve 2x minus 5 equals 13. And while you're doing this, remember, I know you're tempted to just solve it, but I need you to test each of those numbers. So plug 3 in for x and see if it's true. Plug 6 in for x, see if it's true. Plug 9, and then plug 12 in. So hopefully you got x equals 9, and your answer looks a bit like this. All right, go take the check-in, and I will see you in class.